everyone, I am here to show you the decks that I am using for the month of November. We're just coming out of Halloween season, but we're not quite into like the whole like Christmas holiday season. November is kind of a really transitional month in some ways where I live, where it depends on the year. So it depends when it snows and the snow stays. So right now, last year we had snow by this time, but this year we don't. This year, it's still pretty, like the leaves have all fallen and stuff, and it's very brown, but there isn't snow yet. And I know it'll come at some point, probably in November, but it's this weird like fall, winter, halfway kind of thing that's going on. So I want something that's still kind of like dark and still kind of, because it is getting darker here too, especially being in Canada where, we're more north, it gets darker and darker as we go. So I want something that's kind of dark and kind of spooky, but I don't want something that's like too Halloweeny. I still want something that's kind of wintry as well, if that makes sense. So for the month of November, I am working with the Raven's Prophecy Tarot. So I have it here in this black bag because it came, I don't know about now, it probably comes in a better box, but when I got it, Llewellyn still had kind of like those softer, sort of the cardboard boxes that you don't end up usually keeping. So I have the book somewhere on the shelf, and then I just put it in like a little bag like this to store it. So that is the back here. I love here how it has like the black and the orange, and then you've got all four of the suits here and the infinity symbol, which I'm assuming represents the major arcana. So we've got the black orange kind of fall vibe going on. And that's what I find for this one. It's got like this kind of darker tone to it, the deck, but it's not like totally Halloweeny either. So it's got a lot of ravens in it, of course, Raven's Prophecy. We've got the Six of Cups here. I find the cups have a lot of ravens in them. And then the coins tend to have a lot of plants. And I mean, it is very fall here. I like to have my tarot decks match the seasons, if you've noticed. But something like this where, like these plants are kind of like decaying or falling apart, it's very fall-like. And then we have here... So the coin, like they're all very dark kind of cards. Like there's this sort of gardening, yard work, plant type thing to the coins, which I actually quite love. Oh, I love this Wheel of Fortune. So everything's on this, got this orange border and this dark background, which I think just totally suits this season so much. And then the swords have a lot of feathers and hands in them. It's a 9 of Swords. So you've got that skeletal hand. So again, you've got kind of this like death and decay motif going on. Exception here, we've got like the 10 of Coins, which is full of flowers. But that makes sense with the 10 of Coins because it really is about abundance and prosperity. We've got the moon being swallowed by the raven here, which really, it does match with the long nights that we have ahead. The 5 of Wands. Got these candles going up in flames. There's lots of hands and candles and knives and ravens and flowers. Like it's a really like simple and straightforward deck. I really love the colors on the hands as well. But I think this is just like a very November deck, because to me November is like this very cold, dark month. And especially, if the snow hasn't fallen yet, it gets dark pretty early. And in the winter, when like I'm not sure, wherever in the world you're watching this, if you don't get snow a lot, when there's a lot of snow, what happens is the snow reflects some of the lights. So the nights don't seem quite as dark as when there's just like no snow on the ground. Yeah, love this death card. I'll show you some more. This one isn't as dark, but we've got here, it does look like a rainy day. The Hierophant is this lamp with all these lights around it. But then you've got the Hermit, and he's like in sort of this cave in a tree. So I love it because it's a very simple, very stark, very straightforward type deck. And I think it really kind of captures, the season. Like it really captures sort of that November, at least here in November in the Northern Hemisphere, I should clarify. type of card, that kind of like fall, winter type of season. So to pair, I have paired it with the Viking Oracle. Again, I feel like this really kind of embodies this part of the year. I tend to associate Vikings with winter, and like, because they're very Nordic, it's very north, so I associate with that kind of like wintry, stark kind of energy that we have going on here. This is by where is it here? Stacy DeMarco and Jimmy Manton is the artist. This is a Blue Angel deck. So that's the backs there. So they are reversible. It does have a lot of runes in here. We've got ansas. And then it also has a lot of Norse gods and goddesses as well. So we have Sol, the goddess of the sun. We've got Thor here. It's very popular right now. It's another rune, manas. We've got the 9 worlds. So we've also got like this connection with Norse mythology as well. It's just a really beautiful deck. And I think it really goes with the Raven's Prophecy too, because it does sort of have this stark nature kind of quality to it. I just think they go together very, very well. I like the colors on here too. It is a nicely colored deck. Lots of different colors and things. So I really like working with these two together at this time of year. I think they go together really, really well. If you are getting a reading from me this month, these are probably what you'll see in your readings, unless it's like a specific reading that uses a specific deck or decks of cards. So it's a pretty cool deck, I think. I like it because it's got a little more, like it's more than just the runes. It's got all of the runes in here. It has like aspects of Norse mythology, as well as like gods and goddesses, and different beings from that particular cosmology. Love Hel. She looks great here. Although I wish, the way that I have always heard Hel described is that she's like half decayed or half bone and half beautiful. So I would have loved to see that. But, every artist is going to interpret things differently. Let's see. Lots of runes in here. Volcano, which is about birth. We've got the tree emerging, the seed emerging, or seedling, I should say. I love this one for Kanaz. It's very beautiful. So it's a beautiful deck. I think it pairs really well. It's very wintry and stark, which, that's the time of year I'm getting into here. So that's what I'm working with. So those are my Oracle deck and my Tarot deck that I'm working with. For my Cartomancy deck, I have here the Mystical Lenormand, and I think it goes really well, especially with the Viking Oracle, because it is a medieval themed deck. So it's very like storytelling, it's like fairy tale medieval. So each one has like these borders, these arches, but I think like because each one is different, it actually adds to the cards. I'm not usually like a big border person, but I think like each of these is different, so it really adds to that. So you've got the scythe here. I love this with the stars. The sun there, the desert. We've got a ship. It's a little later than medieval, but I won't quibble. We've got the clouds. I like the little monkey, the little bird on his head. It's very cute, but it's still very clear what each of these cards is. We've got the fish. Got the tree with the little rabbits there. It's just like a very pretty deck, and it is like sort of fairy tale like, which is why I like working with it, in conjunction with the Viking Oracle, because it does have like kind of like that storytelling kind of aspect to it. But this is a little bit lighter, and it adds like the other cards are quite stark, I find. But this has like sort of a bit more of a joyful, playful energy to it. I love the angels on the back, very medieval. The heart here, Adam and Eve in the garden. It's a beautiful deck. I love working with it. So that's the that's the Cartomancy deck. And then I'm still working with four, and this is just for me. Like you, if you know, you're not gonna see this if you get a reading with me or whatever. But for fall, I like to work with for affirmations the Wisdom cards by Louise Hay. I think it's because of the orange I pick it for fall. Like I love the orange and the yellow. Let's be blunt. Also, I tend to think of, associate the fall a little bit more with wisdom because I associate it with kind of crone or sage energy, like sort of, it's we're getting into, the latter part of the year. And it does have like kind of a lot of fall colors in some of these particular, not some of these cards, but they're all just like, it's really nice to just pull a thought for the week and kind of work with that thought, work with that idea. Again, we've kind of got some fall colors there. Just trying to pick out some good ones here. I mean, there's a lot of nice ones here, but I speak and think positively. So that's what I'm working with this month. I think I worked with the same ones last November. I think next year I kind of switch it up a bit, but that's the ones that I'm looking at working with for this particular month. Let me know if you like these decks, what decks you're working with for November or fall or winter, because I know not everybody does what I do. Like I like to have like a deck that I just sort of work with and focus on for the month, because I have a lot of decks and I like to give them each the attention that I think they deserve. But some people I know like do it seasonally. Some people are more like, this is what I feel like working with right now. Let me know what you're working with. Let me know what you think of these decks. Do you have them? Are they on your list? Let me know. Thank you again so much for watching. And thank you to all of my patrons. You guys are the best because you guys allow me to do this. So that is so, so awesome. Again, if you want a reading from me on my Etsy shop, you can check out the links below. And as always, thank you for watching, and peace and love and light.